Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, I gotta do this video like real quick because the season finale of Bad Girls Club is getting ready to come on. So yeah, let me just pump this out real quick and I hope I can be as helpful as possible in explaining what I'm about to talk about. So yesterday you guys watched my color theory video explaining warm and cool colors. And I hope I got you guys a little bit more excited and a little bit more comfortable with color and what colors go with other colors, and just, you know, it's just really fun. But in that video I touched a little bit about NC shades and NW shades, and I didn't really talk about it too much because it is so specific. When you go to a MAC counter and you're like, what does an NC foundation mean, or what is an NW, you don't really know because it's kind of confusing. So I wanted to do a completely separate video on that, and that's kind of why I only mentioned it in the last video. So I want to get, first and foremost, I want to help you guys understand a little bit about like your undertones, and your undertone is what makes up your skin color. So if you were to take off like all of the brown, all of the tan, or whatever you are off of your skin, whatever color shows up is what your undertones are. So with that being said, just because you are fair does not mean that you automatically have pink undertones. And just because a person is dark does not automatically mean that they are yellow. I've heard that misconception so many times. Just because you're dark does not mean you are cool, ladies. And just because you're light does not mean that you're warm, or vice versa. It has absolutely nothing to do with your skin color, because there are dark women who are cool and warm, and there are fair-skinned women who are cool or warm. But yeah, so it's completely independent of your skin color. First and foremost, let's understand that. And I'm going to be talking about how you can find your undertones first and foremost, which is really easy. And to go from there, I'm going to talk about the whole NC, NW system, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so let's talk about undertones. Now that we know what undertones are, let's talk about the two types there are. There's cool and there's warm. And there's also neutral. Cool means you have your skin is normally comprised of like pink and salmon undertones. That means you're a cool, or what like they call it, a winter. I don't really go off the seasons. I just say cool or warm. I don't know if they still do that autumn, spring, summer stuff, whatever. I just go cool or warm. But anyways, blue. Yeah, cool undertones are like blue, pink, or like salmon, like peachy. And warm undertones are those that are like yellow or golden or olive, which I'm considered a warm undertone. And you actually can be a mixture of warm and cool. And when you are warm and cool, you're considered neutral, which is really cool because you can pretty much get away with doing more than the average person. Kind of like I was explaining in my other video with the brown eye being like the neutral color. Same concept with skin. You can usually get away with doing either NW or NC foundation. So you're really lucky because you kind of have a broader range to work with. But for the rest of us, we aren't so lucky. How do you determine if you are a cool or if you are a warm? There's a lot of little tricks out there. Some of them have worked for me, others not so much. But okay, the first one is the wrist test. You're supposed to look at the underside of your wrist, like in daylight, or it's usually best to do it in daylight. And what you do is you're supposed to look at the color of your veins, and if the color of your veins are green, then you're like an indefinite warm. If the color of your veins are blue, then you're a cool. Now the only like thing about the wrist test is people can have different undertones in their wrist than they do in their face. So it's not completely accurate. It's a great guideline. It kind of gives you like, okay, something to start with, but it's not the best. And that's the reason why I have people come into my store, and when I see them swatching foundations on their wrist, no, I never ever swatch foundations for someone on their wrist unless they're like in a really quick hurry. But even so, I always tell people to swatch foundations on their neck if they can. I mean, if you know you're going to buy foundation, just don't wear makeup. It makes no sense to have to take it off if you know you're going to buy foundation. So unless you know you had someplace else to go and you just stop by afterwards. But if you know you're going to buy a new foundation, you're not really sure with what shade you're picking, always swatch like on your neck or even if you can just take a little bit off your chin or jaw. Always, 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 never on your wrists, because it's completely dependent. And my wrists are actually lighter than my face. So that's the reason why. So there's the wrist test. And also, if your veins are purple under your wrist, then it's considered neutral. So there you go. The wrist test. Mine are, you can barely see mine, but mine are green, so I'm warm, supposedly. But okay, so the next one is the jewelry test. This one for me is like hands down dead on. And I know it works perfectly for me. I don't know about you guys, but you can give this a try. They say that if you look better in gold jewelry, you're warm, which is true. I look, I love the way I look in gold jewelry. I love it. And then they say if you look better in silver jewelry, then you're cool. But I'm kind of like in the middle with that one, because I like the way I look in both. So I don't know, but I am gonna I'm more leaning more towards gold. So try that one. You may like that one too. This one for me was also like an indefinite, hands down, dead on. It's just the white test. If you look really, really good in like pure white clothes, then you have cool undertones. I look hideous in the color white. Awful. I stay away from it at all costs. I hate bright, blaring white. Ugh, not on me. I don't like it. I personally prefer off-white tones, cream colors. So if you're like that, if you look better in off-white, then you're more of a warm, which for me was like, okay, I know that's me straight up. But yeah, I stay away from white. Ugh. It looks, but even when I got married, okay, I was like, I'm taking a cream dress. I don't care. Since I was like, I can't even remember, since before I even was engaged, I was like, I'm never gonna get married in white. Ugh. But anyways, I have my little notes. I'm reading my little notes. Oh, you know what? I have another one. Since I do have this little piece of paper here, they say if you hold a piece of paper up to your face in like true daylight, whatever you're supposedly if you do that, you're supposed to actually see the undertones pop out better. So hold a white sheet of paper up to your face, look in a mirror, and if you see more of a bluish pink tone coming out, then you're cool. And if it's the other way around, if you see more of like yellow, olive, or gold, then you are a warm. So try that too. I've never really tried that one before. I pretty much have my heart set on the jewelry one and the white clothing one, but that's just another way you can tell and see how that works for you. So let's talk about NC and NW foundations. NC stands for neutral cool, and NW stands for neutral warm. It's important to understand that when you're choosing an NC, you're kind of like almost going backwards, I guess, because you would think that if you have warm undertones, being that you're kind of like yellow or gold, that you would choose an NC. And you would think that if you are an NC, which is like pink or salmon, that you would go to an NW because it's like pinky red. But it's the opposite with MAC foundations, because they're working to balance out what your skin lacks. So if you're experiencing like the pink, you know how some women have like the pinky cheeks and it's kind of flush, and some people don't like that. So what you do is you take the NC shade, which is yellow based, to cancel out that pinkness you're experiencing. And then for women like me who are kind of like yellow golden, you're using an NW shade, which is like pinky red, to balance out that pigmentation that, I'm sorry, I don't want to say pigmentation because that's not what it is, but that it's working to balance out what your skin's lacking, and that's why it's neutral, or it's a neutral version of pink and red. So it's not like it's straight up like putting pink paint on your face. It's a neutral, toned down version of that. So that's just, and like I said earlier, you can be both. You can be both neutral and warm, which is probably really cool for you, because you have a more broader range to work with. But yeah, and whenever, it's always best, I hate to say this to you guys, because I know I'm probably going to get a lot of people like, I'm about your complexion, what am I? I honestly cannot determine that. I'm not the best at doing it. My best way of determining a warm or a cool person, I just have to take maybe like 2 or 3 foundations and just see how they look. I've gotten a lot better at foundation matching, but honestly, you guys, no one is ever dead on where they can just look at you and tell. If they are, they're like psychic. I know I can't do it, but your best bet is just to try it on, try it on, try it on. Go to your local counter, wherever you shop at, wherever foundation you wear, if you have that opportunity, and physically have them put it on you, because there's no way, and don't do the wrist thing. Don't do the wrist. Your wrists are not always the same color of your face. So yeah, definitely have someone sit you down, someone that is going to be able to see your true undertones. These are things you cannot see over the computer in a photograph. The resolution is distorted. The lighting may be off, so you may appear darker or lighter. There's no way I can tell just by looking at someone over the computer. And I hate to make this off the wall judgment and you go buy this foundation and now you're pissed at me because I'm wrong when I've already told you what's up. You know what I mean? I can't, there's no way I can tell. So, I'm willing to take questions, but they have to be, just kind of think about the question that you're going to ask, because there's only so much I can do, you guys. So I do want to help you guys, but I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I did try to explain it the best that I could. I'm sorry if I didn't address anything, but yeah, the whole undertone thing is a very important factor, or else you could be walking around looking crazy with those foundations. Okay, so let me know what you guys think. I will see y'all later. Bye.